Let's hope that I don't mess it up. You know on Great British Bake Off when you're like, oh no, this is that moment. Welcome to my chaos. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Cakes are kind of my favorite thing to do, and lately I've been seeing these cakes pop up in my Instagram feed that are like 1960s-y. Don't be worried, this is not an episode of Cooking Vintage. I have a bunch of different piping tips that I've never used before, and I want to use them. And I want to make it look cool, and I want it to be birthday celebration worthy. What we're doing today, I'm making my sister's birthday cake. We are making a chocolate cake with raspberry filling and a vanilla buttercream frosting. I'm really excited for the second part, slash slightly terrified because I've never done this part before. Yeah, I just wanted to do something nice for my sister, make her something pretty, hopefully. Hopefully. We never know until we try. So yeah, let's get into it. Use a spoon to put the flour in the measuring cup. You can also use proper size utensils because then I would have much less of a mess here. I had the best of intentions starting this to not do exactly what I'm doing now. 2 cups, now I'm gonna clean all this up. Now we add 1 2/3 cup of sugar. We're gonna add 2/3 cup of cocoa powder. Okay, next we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Add a teaspoon of baking powder. And then 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. Now I'm just gonna sift in the rest of the dry ingredients. I'm gonna set this off to the side and then I'm gonna start working on my wet ingredients. Okay, and then for our wet ingredients, we have 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, 2 eggs, a cup of buttermilk. Okay, and then we're gonna add a cup of hot water. I sadly don't have my stand mixer here. I have a handheld one. We're gonna add the wet ingredients now and slowly incorporate them. You do not want to overmix cake batter. If you do, you will get a very dense, rubbery, awful thing. We got some chocolate on us. It was bound to happen eventually. Okay, that looks good. And I've got chocolate all over that I need to clean up now. The bowl was too small. Parchment paper. Now I am going to spray the pans with some cooking oil. Pop these on. These are gonna go into the oven. I'm gonna put them in for 30 minutes, see how they're doing. Okay, so while that is in the oven, we're gonna work on our raspberry filling. So we have this on medium heat. 2 cups of raspberries. We're gonna add 1/2 cup of sugar. 1/2 tablespoon of lemon juice. So you're gonna stir this constantly until it starts to boil, and then you're gonna bring it down to medium-low heat. It says, cook until mixture has thickened and leaves a trail behind your spoon when you stir. That's much more helpful than the when dropped from a space it makes a mound. I appreciate it. We're gonna lower it down to medium-low, and we're just gonna sit here for another 12 to 15 minutes. I'm gonna turn off my camera and just cut back to when it's time. The raspberry jam is at a good place now. I'm going to sift it through here. Now what we're gonna do is make the buttercream. You want it to get really, really light and fluffy, and it should get to a point to where the color starts to change a bit as well. I feel like it's pretty light. I think it's good. Okay, so now we're gonna slowly add in the powdered sugar. We're gonna sift it in. Add another cup. Now we're gonna mix this together and then we're gonna add the other ingredients. 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 2 tablespoons of whole milk, 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. Now assembly. I didn't bring my little cardboard bottoms, so I'm just gonna use this glass plate, and I turned it upside down. Probably a bad idea, but here we are. Now we're gonna level our cakes. I recommend just kind of getting down at eye level with it. Try to keep it perpendicular. You want them to be really level, otherwise when you stack them, they're gonna be topsy-turvy. So don't be afraid to get a little intimate with it. That looks good. Okay, I think I'm getting better at this. That's good. I am going to come up with a game plan. I'm gonna put some icing on the bottom. I'm gonna smooth it out, add a border to the outside, scoop in the raspberry on top. That feels right. Now the outside border. Here's the jam that we made from earlier. Next. Ta-da! It almost looks like a real cake now. Does it look okay? Now for the part that I'm the most nervous about. We're gonna pipe on the crumb coat. I'm gonna pipe lines across the side, and I'm gonna take this scraper, smooth it all out, and after it's smoothed out and I'm not scared anymore, then I'm gonna put it in the fridge and it's gonna chill overnight. Baking is 90% chemistry and 10% sensory play. I'll stop putting off the inevitable now. Fear me strength, Anthony. This is the part that I really am scared of. This scares me every time. The raspberry's leaking out. I mean, it's just in the crumb coat, so it's not a huge deal, but like, wasn't supposed to do that. But I'm just gonna try to go quickly and save what I can. It's sliding all over. Oh my God, this is a mess. This is a mess. It's a mess. I'm not feeling great about it. I haven't felt this defeated by a cake in a very long time. Should have not added as much milk probably. I'm just trying to work this slightly quickly. Oh my God. It's topsy-turvy. You know on Great British Bake Off when you're like, oh no, this is that moment of time. I need skewers or something to keep it together. I'm hoping we can still save this. I know it'll still taste delicious. I'm extremely upset that the raspberry filling is just kind of going everywhere. We're just gonna have raspberry in the frosting, and that's okay. We're learning things. This cake is trying to defeat me, and it might win, but I'm not gonna let it if I can. This was not how I saw this going, I'm gonna be honest with you. Even some people who kind of know what they're doing, they have days like this too. I need like cross beams to support it now. It's a crumb coat, Bethany, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna go stick this in the fridge before it's too late. Hi fam, let's have a conversation about what happened yesterday. That was not how I saw things going. The frosting was a little too spreadable, as we saw. I would recommend maybe not putting any milk in your icing, but I was able to save it. That's the good news. It's not the way that I wanted it, but it'll still taste great, and I have a decent shot to make it look nice still too. I'm going to have to serve it chilled, otherwise, well, otherwise it's just gonna slide apart. I stuck 6 dowels in it and panicked and stuck it in the freezer. So my confidence level is not very high right now. You live, you learn. We know how to avoid these mistakes in the future now. I hope I can pull this off. I'm gonna try to not have my feelings hurt and be upset like I was last night, because this is like the one thing I'm supposed to be able to do. It is hard. It is hard. If anything, this episode is not to fool you to believe that this is easy. This is not easy. This is very hard to do. Next steps though, I am going to take the cake out of the fridge and frost it. You saw me make the frosting yesterday, so I'm just gonna whip up some. I'll check back in when I'm putting it back on. I just think I need some alone time with the frosting to kind of try to figure it out before I attempt to put it on a cake. So here's where we're at. If you look closely, you can see billowing. It is what it is. I thought this was a nice vintage looking grains. We're gonna add it to the top, smooth that out, and then I'm gonna pipe it on with a bag. The cake is chilled, so it shouldn't fall apart. Famous last words. This cake is gonna be very frosting forward. Okay, now we scrape. We're just trying our best here. I am now kind of patchwork filling in some of that stuff. So now I'm just trying to smooth out the edges on top. Okay, I'm feeling much better about this. I think I'm gonna leave this here. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. I transferred it to a new plate. There's a little chunk right here. We're gonna cover it up. I pipe decorated cakes, but just like little stars and stuff, not like a border that's like similar to something like the 60s or the 70s. So let's hope this goes okay. Happy birthday. I do like the colors because I think that they do look very vintagey. I'm not the best at piping yet. Everything takes practice. That is what we learn on this channel. I think I made the frosting a little too soft again. I don't know, I'm still figuring it out, guys. And then move on to the next piece. This one is yellow. I'm gonna try to do ribbons along the side. I've never used this piping tip before. We're trying something new. I mean, it's not the prettiest thing ever, but it's a great first try. For all the drama I had with this cake, I'm lucky it's still just standing. Okay, that looks a little bit cute. Maybe I can do like stars up here. Does this look cool yet? Comment down below. A little worried I might run out of this icing, but we're a lot of powdered sugar because this is used up 10.5 cups just of powdered sugar, not even of granulated sugar. That's just in the icing. This is not a cake for those friends who pick the icing off and only eat the cake. Oh yes, okay, we're all right. Got some green right here. I think we need more stuff on the side because the side is very ugly at this particular moment. The sides do not look pretty and they probably won't, but this is hard. I don't even know at this point, honestly. I'm going to switch this one out. We did it. We did it. I'll put an L on top. Hey! It's not the best cake I've ever made. It's not structurally sound. We gotta work on the draping. I gotta look up some stuff and learn more about that because that's obviously a problem here. This is more impressive than a box cake. For a first starter, you know, I think it doesn't look awful. That was really scary and a whirlwind of emotions. Learned a lot, learned a lot about milk and icing, you know. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I put out new videos every Thursday. This is what I made today. It was a roller coaster of emotions. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment down below, or share with your friends. Otherwise, I will just see you guys around on the interwebs. Bye. I hope she likes it. I don't know. She might never ask me to make her a birthday cake ever again. But also she doesn't bake, so she's kind of at my mercy.